but a lot of like the artistic uses that are happening. No, that's what artists are for. Like, literally what artists are for. Let them do it. It's actually better. I mean, that's man using technology to make everyone's lives easier. So that you can spend your time making cool art. Well, I mean, that's what AI is for in my mind. But yeah, just trying to help me overcome my anxiety about talking about myself. I just need to work on that. I just need to work on that. It's not easy for me, but all right, is what it is. It is what it is. I'll do that. Just want some people in case there's anything hit based. I just want some people in here. Probably like work on her ultimate, right? Gale's ultimate thing, probably. You can only really work on one at a time now. No, I know because I got more book here. I mean, like level this up. Where we go? 175. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Is that? Yeah, that's a full formation. Right. Again, not really worried about trying to build a valid formation here. Just throwing people together. Just to get where we're going. What do you consider your strongest formation abilities? Well, most of mine are positional. Most of my abilities are positional. Here's the thing. I mean, I'm good at writing. I can write a letter. I just have anxiety about doing it. I get uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. It's not that I don't have the skill to do it. I'm just really bad at. Then the one thing I am really bad at is in looking at it and like, is this good enough? I don't know, because it's uncomfortable for me to read it. Kind of like me trying to watch a stream and like, am I doing a good job? I can't judge that. So I ask other people if I'm doing a good job when I'm streaming. I think plumbing is the safest from computers. There are some amazing updates to plumbing, and just like to let you know this. Uh, um, like our city is currently going through and replacing all the water meters and things with these smart meters that they don't have to come and like pull the things up and look at. They can just drive through the neighborhood and it auto downloads all the information about water usage and smart leak detection and all this kind of stuff. I think it's amazing. You can track health issues, like viral outbreaks through measurements in the plumbing and sewage and waste stuff. I think that stuff's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, physically doing things, in a house, not so much. Not so much. It's got to be currently has to be a person. No. Yeah. Work heavily in smart water. The technology is fun to play with. I think it's neat, and I think it has great potential. I just don't. I feel like cities aren't investing in it, right? Because they just don't care. Some are, but for the most part, I just don't think they care about it. They like, you know, but well, people, it's all about budgeting, right? Um, this is the true politics conversation: is how do we spend? Should we prioritize spending on smart water features for, water utilities? And the long-term answer is absolutely. But finding the money in the short term is the challenge, especially if you live in a place where people don't want to pay higher taxes for things. Even if it's a tiny little increase amortized over decades, like, just get super mad. It's like, I don't know. I get mad when my taxes are spent incorrectly, but this would be, beneficial for our entire community. So, yeah, analyzing large amounts of data is neat. Modeling programs can do that real well, but you have to make sure you're setting it up to, like, you have to then either interpret the data or make sure that the program isn't accidentally interpreting the data. Like, getting the right information from the data is always the challenge, and what so many places really screw up, because you can fall into bad habits of uh, what's it called? It was right on the tip of my tongue, and then when I wanted to say it, it ran away. Um, Self-fulfilling prophecies, where basically you believe something is going to happen, so you don't try to support it, and then so, like, you believe something, your numbers are just going to be bad in a certain area, and so you never try to change them because you think they're always going to be bad. But if you never try to change them, they're always going to be bad. Like, so of course that's what's going to happen. Like, until you actively invest in trying to see if you can do it, you don't know, you just think that's what's going to happen, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I mean, look, some places are really, they're doing good things. I don't live one of those places. I feel like, I mean, I'm happy that we're getting these cool little smart systems for the water. Uh, but you can go beyond that and, like, set them up like sensors and pipes all around, and you'll know, like, the moment a pipe breaks, you'll know because the you had this kind of volume and pressure here, and then down here it's gone, and it should still be there, and so there's a breakage in the pipe, and you can go find it and fix it. Like, even small leaks, the small tiniest leaks can be found that way. um, it's a lot of money and a lot of work, but I think clean water's worth it. Hmm. Making sure the data is accurate. There's a lot of bias in computer programs, a lot of bias. Programmer-based biases. I don't know. Biasi. What we go with? Yeah. And then there's just some things that you just can't measure. Like, you really can't. And people try to find ways to measure it. Oh man, this is now I'm really getting into community management. There's just things about community management there's no direct way to measure, and so there's all of these things that people have created to try to quantify what you really want, which is happiness, right? um Man, that's why I ignore, Like I absolutely ignore the number of upvotes and downvotes I get on my Reddit posts because I've learned over, man, when did I start? 2008, I think was the first time I ever posted. Well, yeah, I really started posting guides in about 2008. So after 16 years, 16 years of guide posting, I mean, it didn't take me that long, but one of the big lessons you learn is those upvotes and downvotes mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. What matters is view counts, really. How many people are coming to see it? Even if some of those are repeated viewers, that means it was valuable enough for them to come back and look at it again and again and again and again. That means you're getting it's useful information. Now again, but even then, it's not the end all be all. There's ways to just artificially inflate your view counts, but if you're not attempting to do that, if you're just trying to put your stuff out there and let people view it, then it's great, right? But the upvotes and downvotes, I get downvoted on all of my posts on the subreddit, and all I'm doing is posting guides to try to help people, and people downvote it, which shocks a lot of people. But I'm like, oh, that's normal. Like I'm totally used to that. Just yeah, it's just the way posting stuff online works. But that's why I don't care about any of those upvote downvote things. It can be on a place like Reddit. It can launch you, like if you get tons of activity in a highly active subreddit, and then it pushes you to like the front page or whatever. Like, it can bring attention to your work, but ultimately you're not. You shouldn't be creating, like, if you're trying to create content like I create, you're not creating it to try to make it to the front page. You're trying to create it to help people enjoy the game they're playing, and that doesn't necessarily, there's no way to measure that, uh, truly measure that from my end. Funny things I've seen is installing all the fancy toys, but not actually updating the pipes themselves. Yeah, yeah. No, it's got to all be. That's what I'm saying. It's expensive because you got to do it all at the same time, right? Measure it, surveys. Uh, one of the things that still, anytime I hear the word survey, it's like it's a PTSD trigger in a sense back to college in my psychology, like statistics of psychological research classes. And it's like, oh, surveys. No, survey bias, inherent survey bias. No. That's like the worst. No such thing as bad. Oh no, there's bad engagement. There's actively bad engagement. Actively bad engagement. Hey, Chaos. Okay, hold on. I have one paragraph. I'm just. Mhm. Oh yeah, Family Food survey says. Well, Family Feud is just, they're not trying to get accurate answers, so it's totally okay. Um, it's totally okay. Family Feud is a game, is all about trying to figure out, well, what would come to people's mind? Not what's correct. What would come to someone's mind most often when this question is asked? But that doesn't mean that it's the right answer to the question, right? Yeah. Every once in a while, it gets quiet enough to hear the stream music, and I think some rogue tab. There's some rogue tab that's playing audio. No, it's me playing the Bardic Inspiration instrumental tracks out of the jukebox. I just suggest I select only instrumentals, so you don't hear the lyrics, and then it's down. It's literally as low as it can get, and then I have it down like minus 17 decibels in OBS because the jukebox is way too loud, man. Way too loud. I don't understand how you create a juke. I mean, I guess like they're not a music company. They don't get it, but when I have to turn your jukebox down this much to have it be at a normal listening volume, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Same way I do it minus 14. Yeah. If it's minus 14, well, yeah, minus 14, I think people would hear it more regularly, which is probably not a bad thing, but it's just there so there's no dead air when I'm quiet. Goal of Family Feud is to make Steve Harvey make funny stunned faces. Well, that's the goal of the players, the competitors. Yeah. There is music playing now, but it's okay if you don't hear it. I really have it tuned down to where someone was like, I just thought all I get is a background hum, and I was like, oh, and then I turned it up a bit. Biggest countries in the European Union, according to people over the age of 30 from Cleveland who also like the movie Cats and chocolate ice cream. Denmark. Number one answer. To Denmark, just because it's on the smaller side, I feel like an American person would say something like that. Oh yeah, it's super low. It's yeah. I'm also listening to it on my speakers so that I'm not sitting here in silence, which would bother me. All right, 100, and we're going to 175. All right. Click damage is where we, well over where we need it, so we just gotta keep on cruising. No real way to speed this up outside of speed potions. We just don't have any. Oh, what did we get? They're flashing over here. What did we get? Unlock Turn of Fortune's Wheel. Don't care. And it stays flashing until I click it again for some reason. 6115 gems, 61% of the way through. Bluetooth, wow, yeah. It's a lot of things to go through. But hey, whatever works, right? Sipping on loads of water before bed, good idea. Don't, get some hydration. Get some hydration. Yeah, speaking of hydration. Real hydrate. Second paragraph done. All right. Oh, this is a bigger grind than anything I do in that Champions. It feels like no one died. Just my what died is my will to create a cover letter. I want to do it. I need to do it. I just don't like talking about myself without prompting. Like I can answer questions, but man. All right. Yeah. It's a job. I mean, I feel like if you've been in my Discord, you probably know, right? I posted a link to it a while back. I was like, this looks interesting. And then I've kind of been picking up on it, and it seems like, yeah. Seemed like something that would be neat. And I have the qualifications for this here. Yeah. It's the part-time remote position, but you know, any contract. Well, not any. I was about to say any contract is a good contract, but I mean, look. Obviously, and I'm a huge fan of one of the games they published. I've enjoyed watching it, people play some of their others. Yeah, I watched Take This. The people over at Take This played Night in the Woods. It was great. Just haven't had an opportunity to go through and play their others. So, and I've done exactly what they need to do for what they're looking for other companies. So, I mean, that's basically the kinds of stuff I used to do through a third-party contractor is, hey, we need somebody for like 15, 20 hours a week to do X. And it's like, yeah, well, I can do that. I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot. So for all kinds of studios, from indie studios to some of the major names in the games industry. So yeah. I'll see questions to help you fill out. No, that doesn't. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. How about last night's episode of Critical Role? I am a little tired today because I stayed up and watched the whole thing. No spoilers. I will set an expectation. For me, last night's episode was quite possibly one of the best episodes. Like, I would say top 5 across all 3 campaigns. Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. Yeah. No spoilers, but wow. If you know, you know, yeah. You just let people go discover it on their own. But what's hilarious is Sean, who is like the biggest Critical Role fan, kind of fell off during the season. I was like, nah, I just wasn't into it this much. And then last night I texted him, or not texted him, but I messaged him a picture of like the intro with the cat and the mouse. I'm like, this is what you're missing, Sean. And he's like, I'm actually watching. He showed me a picture of him like kicking it on the couch with his feet up. And then later I was like, wow, what a night to tune in for. And he's like, wow, what a night for me to stop watching 20 minutes in. And so he didn't even stick with it. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Do you have to have a background knowledge of what is going on for it to still be considered that amazing? I can't. I'm not sure if I can. I'm going to try to answer that without spoiling anything, and it might not be a satisfactory answer because of that. I think what really makes some episodes really hit is the connection you've built to the characters and the story along the way. and an understanding of pivotal moments. And so I think that makes it. I think that's what puts it in, like, if you're watching Critical Role campaigns, I think that what for me would put it in like a top 5 episode. But could someone watch that episode and feel an impact, like feel it, see it, get an impactful episode, even if that was their only experience with it? I feel like it. I feel like that one was. I feel like you'd grasp and you'd have an understanding. You'd have an understanding, but I don't think it would hit you as hard, right? Yeah. But I think if you were just like, I want to see what is considered a really good TTRPG episode, and I think if you watch that one and like kind of hand wave the fact that maybe you don't understand all the background story and kind of, but you can, if you pay attention to the faces of the players, like these are people who are playing their characters, who are living their characters most of the time, right? If you're paying attention in these moments when they're having these interactions, how do they present? I think you could get it, right? Watch some of it. Some of it isn't. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's just say there's a reason I didn't like. A lot of times I will. I find myself lately just watching through to the first the mid show break, and then going to bed and watching the rest of it the next day. And for whatever reason, I hung around. I don't know. I hung around last night and I was like, I'm just going to keep watching because it feels like this is building up, and I want to see what happens. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it isn't the first half; it's the second. He's trending on social. Sam Riegel's trending on social media. Yeah, yeah. Sam Riegel's like this kind of like, he rolled into campaign 1 like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just play a silly bard named Scanlan, and then he, as silly and wild as and zany as his stuff is, and how just off color a lot of it is at times. Uh, he has this capability of like really tuning in and finding like the right thing at the right time. And he did that in campaign 1 for sure. He had that at times in campaign 2. I don't know that it was quite as big. And then here we are, and he's just, yeah, absolutely destroyed it again. Yeah, he has, campaign 1 set him up as being the clutch person, and my name is Burt Reynolds. Yeah, like, yes, he's just, yeah, it's just silly fun, but then at times it destroys you. Spoiler alert, the hot dogs in my fridge went bad. No, I bought hot dogs. Need to make sure we eat them before the buns go bad. But I want to make chili on Sunday, and then we want to have chili dogs with the leftovers, so I put off the chili making too late. Right, 11 days of adventures.